Right now, God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now.
Oh.
So.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Why he said it. If you here's your soundbite. So he thought that through. You know what he was probably doing? He was at home in the shower saying this to like the bottle, like you know, like you're the reporter, and you know what I say? I now know what it's like to have a knee on my neck. Dude, I don't even want to touch Kanye again, man. But he's going crazy. Did you hear what he said about George Floyd? Did you hear what his statement was? Did you hear what he said about George Floyd? This is real, by the way. He said, after he lost his Adidas deal, he said, Adidas can't drop me because I'm being anti-Semitic. Then they drop him. Then he says, you know what, guys? I've learned my lesson. You know, now I feel like I know what it's like. After losing Adidas and all these deals, I know what it's like to have a knee on the back of my neck. Like George Floyd did. What is wrong with him? He's insane. He's insane. I'm not fucking with you guys. This is a new like level of tone deaf that human beings have not yet seen. Can we actually look this up quick? Can we actually play this story? Kanye West, George Floyd. Oh no, we've got more clips on him saying George Floyd. Oh yeah, and he defended the cop who killed him. Oh God, can we just do like a little arc on this? Because this is particularly bad. Kanye West shows chart of powerful Jews. Apologizes for George comments. Talks MAGA hat and more. Oh my God, dude, what is going on? What is he doing? What is he doing? Can we first start with the statement about George Floyd? Yeah, let's start with that. But now we're doing the Kanye West arc. Kanye West. Do I have to title my stream just like Jews or something now? Like, what am I gonna do? Kanye West, George Floyd, neck comments. God, he's talked so much about George Floyd. Kanye West apologizes for George Floyd comments. I know what it feels to have a knee on my neck right now. The rapper did, however, continue doubling down on recent displays of anti-Semitism. Oh, is this from the video? Oh, we actually get to watch him say it? Oh, that'd be fun. Oh, dude, I want to hear him say it, kinda. Kinda want to hear him say it. Then we'll get on to his...
I watched the George...
Okay, here's the original, let's play the original comments, then his response, then him talking to Lex Fridman about it.
Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fence.
By the way, I couldn't imagine of all the people to trust in the world about the George Floyd situation. He goes to Candace Owens. Why is Candace Owens your expert on the George Floyd killing? Is she a police officer? Does she have a history of like law enforcement training? Does she know what an officer should and shouldn't do in a situation like that? Is she close to the family? Like why Candace? I don't
said
know.
A prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama.
He died of asphyxiation. He did not die from fentanyl overdose. It is just not true. This is just a straight lie. He did not die from overdosing on fentanyl. He did not die from that. He had died from the arrest.
Mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who do you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right? But I know that we lost.
When he says they didn't even have his knee on the neck like that, he did have his knee on his neck like that. He had his knee on his neck like that, like snug, right? Like this sounds like the people are like, waterboarding isn't torture. You're gonna see any of them ever sign up to be waterboarded? Like, yeah, it is torture, dog. Like, he did have his knee on his neck like that. We all remember the video, man. We all remember it, man. It's horrific.
Lost him.
And the cop didn't care. The cop just didn't care.
And I know that this white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him, like as a martyr. And we don't know why exactly. We say it's cancer.
But I want to be careful with this subject because.
Wait a second, but tell me, could you even really run this interview? Because Mav didn't run my interview.
Can I be for real with you guys? When he says, "Oh, they're gonna make him a martyr," that's how martyrs are chosen. Martyrs aren't like, "Oh, yes, I have chosen today to just," like, martyrs are just created, right? That's how martyrs work. Do you think all of the kids that were shot up in schools and we make statues out of those tragedies, every single one of those kids were like awesome? I bet a few of those kids were kind of maybe even bullies in class, or like not very well behaved. Like, none of them were. We don't know. Like, you kind of like, you just grab a bunch of kids and you kill them. Some of them are not going to be the best, but the problem is that they were all innocent for what happened to them. None of them were deserving of that terrible, 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 horrific death. Terrible. And so, yeah, he did not choose to be a martyr. He was created into a martyr by the police, who killed him and murdered him. Are you saying some of the kids were not angels? That's not, you get what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm trying to say. You don't need to be a perfect person for you to be a martyr. Or you don't need to be a perfect person, therefore you deserve to die. Or we shouldn't care, or we shouldn't, like, remember somebody who didn't deserve to die. Like, he didn't, like, George Floyd did not deserve to be murdered like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They blocked me out. The Jewish media blocked me out.
There it is.
This shit lit, right? I'm lit, right?
The Jewish media isn't blocking him out. It feels like most everybody is blocking him out because they don't want to hear what he has to say about Jews.
I'm lit. I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? JP Morgan, I put $140 million into JP Morgan, and they treated me like shit. So if JP Morgan Chase is treating me like that, how they treating the rest of y'all?
That's outrageous, yeah.
If you... Probably fine, because most people aren't making statements about how the Jews control the media. Most people are probably being treated absolutely fine by JP Morgan, because they're not talking about the Jews doing everything in the media.
And this murderers with Chase accounts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I am outraged. By the time people always...
I've never had a problem with my bank. I've never had a problem. They've never said, like, "Hey, Dylan, we heard what you said on the stream the other day about femboys, and we're very upset." That's never happened to me. And I don't think it will ever happen to me. Because I'm not going around saying crazy stuff about the Jews.
I want to calm it down.
Because no matter what, you didn't break no law.
I didn't break a law.
No matter
I didn't
what,
break a law.
The bank shouldn't be a judge or jury on anything that's
but
going
this
on.
is it's like a social contract. Candace Owens has a word for it, I'm forgetting. But it's basically like they told Candace Owens she couldn't hang out with me.
Oh my God. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see his next interview. I want to see. He responds to his George Floyd comments because he got a lot of heat for his George Floyd comments. Got a lot of heat for it.
Who you vote for? You. 100%. You. Let's go, baby.
What, is he wearing? What are those shoes? Is he wearing rain boots? Look, I'm not one to ever like clown on anybody's appearance because my appearance is never top notch. Okay, I'm wearing a Garfield shirt right now. Actually, that is top notch apparel, Garfield shirt. I got a good outfit right now. Look at this shirt. Look how cool this shirt is. Can we just bask at the glory of my shirt for a second? Look at this. Garfield, man, look at him. Look at him, he's skateboarding. He's having so much fun, Garfield. It's an awesome shirt. It's a snazzy, good shirt. But why is he wearing rain boots? Why is he wearing Dylan Garfield Burns? True. Why is he wearing rain boots? I'm just a little confused.
Oh, no, they got it back.
Gianna, Gracie, what did you play?
All right, Yay. How you doing, Kanye?
How you
feeling after this week? How you feeling, brother?
I feel good. You look great. Thank you very much, sir. You look great, my girl.
What do you mean why is he wearing rain boots? Look, I'm not one to like trash on somebody's look, but why the rain boots, man? Nobody else is wearing rain boots. It's not raining. It's not raining. The bank cut ties with them before the anti-Semitic stuff. Why'd they cut ties? Why did they cut ties with him before the anti-Semitic? Bank pulled out before anti-Semitic attack? While many assume JP Morgan Chase cut ties with Kanye West after his recent anti-Semitic attacks, this decision was actually made weeks ago after Ye voiced his displeasure with the bank. Which Chase announced it was ending his relationship with Yeezy Inc. So familiar with it well before he wore his White Lives Matter shirts. It was September when Kanye aired out his grievances with Chase Rating. I went to JP, but of course, they won't give me no deal flow because Jen Ultrich is on the board of both Adidas and JP Morgan. Obviously, it was clear he had a beef with the bank. The fact the letter was dated shortly after that rant seemed to indicate his beef led to the end of the working relationship. Oh, snap. So this is actually unrelated. Like, look, it wasn't the anti-Semitism. It was they attacked our board. I think the bank kind of wishes they waited a little bit more now. Would have been a lot easier for them, probably. Where were we? Oh, yes.
Do you want to talk about anything, Kanye? I mean, do you think you're being unfairly targeted for the comments you've been making?
Do you feel like these unfair?
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, anti-Semitic statements are never good for anybody, right? It's kind of like being anti-black.
But, you know, it's really interesting. I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making...
I'm sorry. When you're at this state where you're just out driving and you just get on the side of the road and reporters swarm you and you're like, okay, you want to know how I'm not racist? You want to know those things I said about blacks wasn't racist? I'm saying blacks because in this scenario I am racist. Boop, 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 boop. So in this definition of racism, technically I'm racist, but this is the definition I believe in. Like once you're at this level, you've already lost. Like you're done. There's no way to win here. Like I don't want to say submit, but it's like you've kind of like once you're like taking out your flip phone to show everybody the real definitions of racism, like you've already lost, man.
Mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like a, let them go by. What was that? All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type of wording that's in the contracts, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other society.
Dude. Oh no, they do control the media. They've got me. Psych, no, they didn't get me. But the thing is, they got me. They finally knew. So the thing is, that's funny about this is Kanye West is like, you want to know how you don't want to know about this thing about definition of anti-Semitism? Then he proceeds to read out a definition, which in the example of his definition of anti-Semitism, it lists out exactly what he did. Conspiracies about the Jews running the media. This would be like if I was trying to prove I wasn't anti-black, and then in the definition of me proving I was not anti-black, like just the example was like Dylan Burns. It'd be like, oh, well, damn. Well, I got like at that point, like you've lost. Like why are you reading that definition? It just makes you look bad. Why would you go in front of cameras and read the definition that makes you look like the anti-Semite?
Societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
Yeah, so it's anti-Semitism.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney. I have a Jewish record label. I have a Jewish contractor. I have a
Do you regret your statements?
But there's a dude. He's like, so the reason I'm not an anti-Semite is I didn't know that the beliefs I hold about the Jews were anti-Semitic. That's how. So I didn't know. So I didn't know that I was an anti-Semite. But then he says, but then he continues to repeat the talking points about the Jews controlling everything. It's like, it's almost like, God, it's so unfortunate that the truth is so anti-Semitic. I had no idea. That's almost what it sounds like to me.
But in statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, you know, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, you know, vilified. You know, I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, you know, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN.
Please tell me that's not like a list of all the companies that are like headed by Jews, and he's just like, look at all these powerful Jews. I got a list of all the powerful Jews. I got a list of look at all these powerful Jews. You can do the same thing with the Irish, okay? Jesus.
ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post,
Is he doing it, isn't he?
MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google.
Oh my God.
What else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan.
Who gave him a list of Jews?
Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
He literally just said, he took out a definition. He's like, look, okay, under this definition, I am an anti-Semite. I didn't know that. Anyway, the Jews control all these companies. So he basically just acknowledged, like, in public, even it might be by accident, I actually don't know. He just came out and said, basically, under the definition on Google, I am anti-Semitic. The example they use is explicitly what I am about to do. That's very unfortunate. I would like to apologize for that because I didn't know that. Anyway, let me proceed to do it again. Why? He basically just admitted that he knows that this is anti-Semitic, that under basically any definition of anti-Semitism that he can name or think of, that he is at least showing them, it is anti-Semitism. And then he goes and does it anyway. Dude has an Excel spreadsheet from the Daily Stormer. I mean, it's not that... Dude, man, it's not that crazy when you think about, like, the history of, like, neo-Nazis working with all other type of crazy-ass extremists to just target Jewish people. My goodness. Why would he do this?
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Is that what happened?
Well, what I said is, hey, you know, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on, and I didn't realize that that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation with Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs, and I feel like
the thing with Kanye though is this isn't the first time he's done something this crazy. Even with Adidas, this is one of the companies who dropped him. Okay, you want to know what else he did? You want to know what else he did to Adidas staff? He played cuckold porn for an Adidas executive. Kanye West released extremely uncomfortable footage of himself showing porn to Adidas executives during a business meeting, and it sparked major backlash. So this isn't even the first time Kanye West has been a problem for companies like Adidas by him just doing crazy behavior and showing himself to be, quite frankly, unstable. Unstable is the word we could use for Kanye West. We're not even talking about his personal life with Pete Davidson and him losing, you know, his family, kind of, his wife, and then her being with somebody else, and then he goes crazy about it. Not any of that. Just even with his business arrangements, this isn't the first time he's engaged in this type of behavior, this type of off-the-wall, wild behavior, because he showed porn to the executives of Adidas. And the fact that they stuck with him through him doing that, it's pretty wild. It is honestly pretty wild.
Right now, I feel like that was, in Christianity, we don't say karma, we say you reap what you sow. And I feel like this is God humbling me right now, because there's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, oh, I'm the richest black man, it would be a defense that I would use for the mental health conversation. To say, oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money. And but that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that, because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right?
Did you guys see that he wanted to name one of his albums Hitler? Kanye Hitler. This is a weird thing to type, but they're apparently, so here's one thing. He paid a settlement to an employee who heard him praising Hitler. That's one thing that he ended up doing. So his own staff has heard him praising Hitler before, and he had to pay them settlements. So that's one problem. But that's not the only Kanye Hitler problem, apparently. And this is not even like a new rumor. This was something that's been talked about before, but now there's more confirmation of it. But he wanted to name an album after Adolf Hitler. He has a really weird, like, history with this stuff. And so, like, he has a weird history of kind of admiring Hitler. He's praised Hitler in front of former staff. He's making these statements about Jews controlling the media. He's showing pornography to executives in private meetings. Like, the dude obviously has some mental issues. Now let me be clear. A lot of people are saying, oh, Kanye's got mental issues. It is what it is. It's just bad. That is not an excuse. That's an explainer. We understand why this is going on. But, like, there's a reason. For some reason, he's fixated on Jews. If I had a mental episode and I started just throwing, like, the N-word everywhere or just doing some crazy racist stuff, I couldn't just say, oh, you know, I was feeling, you know, I'm a little neurodivergent. I was a little neurodivergent when I said the N-word. You can't, that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Like, is it contributing to this? Probably in some way. But there has to be some real anti-Semitism there for him to be acting in this manner. There has to be. As we can see from the graphs he's taking and showing the cameramen. So he is still responsible for his actions, even if this is partly due to his mental health issues.
Right now, as I'm being humbled, another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. So when I went to the mediation, what I want to say is
the problem is with this idea, like, by the fact that I'm getting removed from all these deals, that's proving what I said about the Jews controlling everything. Because of course the Jews would only responded to me and only did this once I started talking about them. But the problem is, like, if I was like, hey, everybody, I'm going to be persecuted for saying dumb things. Then I say dumb things, then I get banned for being dumb. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Oh. Then I get banned for saying dumb things. Like, you could have just got banned for saying dumb things, not because said dumb thing was true. Or you could have just been said because you're a brand risk. Because guess what? Jews don't like to buy products from anti-Semites because they don't like to buy products from people who hate them. It's not that hard to, you know, wrap the mind around why this might not be the smartest business decision or smartest business move. Anyway, like, there's a lot of other explainers for this besides the idea that the Jews of the world conspired to see how they could screw over Kanye because they didn't want them to reveal their, like, big Jewish plot or all their Jewish control. Like, I think there's a lot easier explanations. Like, people don't like to work with brand risks.
Like, black people are like, okay, Lex Fridman got you to apologize, Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now, the thing is, okay, JFK, they got a lot of documentaries about how it happened. So we can argue about how it happened, which I like the fact that we can do that. But regardless, when I see that video as a black person, it hurts my feelings. And I know that police do attack, and America is generally racist. And I understand that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right?
What does George Floyd's death and this have to do with JFK? I'm sorry. Sorry, it just took me for a loop. I think he just wanted to use it as an example of things you can debate.
When, let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. When the idea of Black Lives Matter came out, it made us come together as a people. Now, afterwards, yes, there was some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us.
He's just talking about how Black Lives Matter, the organization, not the movement, got a lot of money and maybe used it with the and like could have donated some of it to the Democratic Party.
To the Democratic vote, there were people behind it involved. That happened, but the general feeling. So when I said that, and I questioned the death of George Floyd, it hurt my people. It hurt the black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them, because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now.
Oh. So. Oh my God, it's so bad. Why he said it, if you here's your soundbite. So he thought that through. You know what he was probably doing? He was at home in the shower saying this to like the bottle, like you know, like, you're the reporter, and you know what I say? I now know what it's like to have a knee on my neck. It'll be really profound. It'll really connect with people. No, it won't. Make you look silly. Make you look stupid. You losing money as somebody who's insanely wealthy because you made anti-Semitic comments is not like the time George Floyd was murdered.
I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEFCON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed. Yeah.
For those of you who don't understand what he's saying, he said he was going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, which was kind of confusing. It sounded like he was going to go, or he's going after Jewish people, but what he's now saying is, no. When I said I was going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, what I meant was I was going to build my defenses against the Jews, which obviously I needed because they're going after me. And then some of the cameramen said, hear, as if he said something profound, when he's doing nothing more but deepening this victim complex he has, that the Jews are going after him. And it's not that, oh, you know, he's an obvious brand risk because he's showing porn to executives and he's going around making anti-Semitic remarks, and, you know, companies want Jews to buy their products because Jews are just like everybody else, consumers, and it's more profitable for them not to be anti-Semitic than to be anti-Semitic because they're companies and that's their motive. And instead, it's, wow, some of these companies have Jews at the top of them. Those Jews are collaborating against me. And so when he announced DEFCON 3, it was just him preparing his defenses against the Jewish onslaught. My goodness, what a victim.
I must have needed that extra defense.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
How? Well, stop. I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God.
Did you hear that? Look at these people. Like, we're reporters. Like, oh, we got cameras. We're here to do reporting. Somebody asks how, knowing what's going on, and one of them said, stop. Like, how dare you? How dare you ask him a challenging question? How dare you challenge our Lord and Savior, ye, leader of the anti-Semitics? How dare you? Like it offended him that a reporter asked him a legitimate question about his legacy in the music industry and if it's been tarnished by his anti-Semitism.
I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period.
No, let's listen to that again. Listen to how outraged they are.
Defense.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
How?
Sway?
Well, stop. I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God is alive. God runs the world. You know, God even runs Hollywood. God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas.
You showed their executives porn. You're not oppressed. You're just not a good business partner.
I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes when I had the Red October, and my girlfriend at the time was pregnant, and I needed to get some money, because if I was the kid that just had the red shoes, I could have never been a black man wearing a red hat. Right. When the like Nike would have shut me down immediately, right? Right. Yeah. But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself and to actually have a political...
Okay, we got the original tweet. We got the original tweet, boys. We can read it. Thank you, Web Archive site chatters. Woo! Okay, let's listen to the original tweet. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm gonna go DEF CON 3. DEF CON. What the... He didn't even say DEF CON. He said DEF CON on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. Wow. I wonder why anybody could ask him about his legacy when he declares DEF CON on the Jews.
Opinion as an American, that I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat, and let's talk about the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor.
Okay. But then you basically just said it. Like, you might... By you saying that, we know what you're saying. Why even bring it up? Just say doctor.
And what hospital and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
Dude, I'm sorry. Unironically, man, Kanye West could be the best comedian. He could unironically be one of the funny. He could take Norm Macdonald's throne when it comes to this kind of blandish, I'm doing this to laugh at you comedy. But instead, he's decided to just go after the Jews instead. He even did like the best comedic timing pause. It's like it feels like I've peeled away at like the film, and I'm finding out like, oh my god, this is all on a TV set. This is all to promote a buddy comedy or something. I almost feel like it snapped a second there. My god, it was like The Office for like half a second. Like, look at this. I'm sorry, I gotta listen to it again.
Doctor, and what hospital and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor that diagnosed me of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again. But because I didn't take the misdiagnosis and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. Now,
I feel like the problem isn't that he doesn't, have... I don't think the problem here is a lack of medication. All I'm going to say is the problem here, in my opinion, could not more clearly be not a lack of medication. I feel like he even just named could you imagine if all this was happening and it was on better meds? Yeah. yeah, I think it'd be a lot. We probably wouldn't even be talking about you right now. You'd probably be just making more music or something.
Let me talk about the red hat. Wearing the MAGA hat the way that Hollywood's political agenda attacked me and put me to a point of exhaustion was death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone would say something to me, from a driver to my ex-wife to Adidas. Everyone would say something. So when I wore that White Lives Matter, I said, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going. Hey, y'all gonna leave me alone about my t-shirt. Because what's the point of having influence and having money and people could come up and just pinch you?
But don't you think having influence, you have a responsibility?
And that's the responsibility that I'm taking right here.
Don't you think
that's why you asked that question.
But don't you think it's dangerous rhetoric to be anti-Semitic, to say all lives matter or white lives matter? No, I'm asking.
Nobody's saying white lives matter anti-Semitic. That's what you just asked.
I'm not saying that's anti-Semitic.
No, you just said that though.
No, and I misspoke. But I'm saying
no, you didn't. That was a Freudian slip.
I'm trying to correct myself.
Okay, correct yourself.
To walk around with
do you want to?
Let's just say, I'm sorry, I'm golfing right now. This is kind of entertaining. I'm gonna be sadly honest with you. Can I just say, these surrounding yes men is the worst part of this interview. Just hearing these people, like, every single difficult question thrown in Kanye's direction, immediately like, how dare you say that to Kanye? How dare you? Sound silly. You sound ridiculous. Like, you couldn't more clearly be just trying to get this, like, access to this guy or be this guy's friend and not actually interview him. Like, I hate that yes man attitude, and if I'm completely honest, that exists also with streamers all the time as well. Like, all the time. I'm not kidding. Just people who will stand around them, and if you're like, I don't know if I agree with that, they'll look at you like you're insane. Like, how dare you have just offended the Lord and Savior streamer number 3000, right? It's insane.
Walk back that statement.
Exactly. Sure, I will.
You got the chance.
Walk back that statement.
Do you think maybe that?
No, wait a second. He's gonna walk back statement.
But I'm saying.
Somodo says, OMG, I totally agree. You're so smart, Dylan. See? That's a smart guy. He's now gotten access to me and will get benefits by being a yes man. Congratulations.
You're wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. And Black Lives Matter. And a lot of people think that you're being anti-black by saying
no.
Burns is immoral, morally corrupt.
What? What? How dare you? How dare you? It's so angry. Anonymous Gifter gifted a tier 1 sub to Streamer 3000. Hey, I love that guy. I told you he was great. He's great with the content.
In America, black people don't take all the rights that we have that are actually given to us. Because we weren't given what we were promised in the first place, which was the 40 acres. Instead, we were given...
And a mule.
And a mule. Instead, we were given projects and bad food and posters of Oprah Winfrey. And also Planned Parenthood. People said to me multiple times, visit the Holocaust Museum. I said, visit our Holocaust Museum. It's called Planned Parenthood.
Listen, I can't wait for one of the yes men to be like, yeah, that's right. See right there. That is such a... Can I just tell you, I've been to the Holocaust Museum a few times. I went to it probably more than the average person, and I think the reason why is because my ex used to work there. So, you know, they brought me on guided tours, you get the idea. Anyway, I remember going there for my ex's, like, inaugural tour. They needed, like, somebody for training to do the tour, the Holocaust Museum. And when we were walking into the front entrance, there were people outside protesting against it, comparing it to abortion, saying, stop the modern Holocaust. And I went inside. I was shocked that anyone would think that was appropriate. And there were Holocaust survivors in the Holocaust Museum giving presentations, meaning that actual Holocaust victims had to pass by a bunch of anti-abortion protesters comparing what they went through to an abortion. It's insane. Like how how little dignity there is in the anti-abortion movement. But the thing is, if you think like them and you think abortion is murder, then it's understandable why they're doing that. It's not murder, because the idea to compare a recently fertilized cell to have saying that their experience of life at that point, which is no different than that of a blade of grass, no thinking, no feeling, right? That has the same value as a living, breathing human boy or girl is ridiculous. Therefore, abortion is generally, I mean, I see it having as no more moral value than of mowing your lawn, because you're ending nothing of that could be comparable to a human life. And so to compare that thing that has no pain, no suffering, no ability to comprehend pain being aborted, to 6 million Jews being erased from the face of the earth, Joseph Mengelé's experiments, homosexuals being erased, Roma people being erased, disabled people, so many. To compare that to an abortion is ahistorical. And I mean, I offensive is a word I want to use. I know it's not much to say this is just offensive, but it just feels like you're going to the lowest of the low possible to try to just elicit outrage. And I feel like people, if they really cared about the issue, would treat it with more respect if they knew what the Holocaust was about. But knowing that Kanye, it seems, has not a lot of respect for Jewish people from the way he behaves himself, it's not surprising that he's going to hold the Holocaust and what occurred there with that much weight, to the point where he wouldn't compare it to something like an abortion.
6 million Jews died in the Holocaust, and I am sorry for your losses. 20 million blacks died to abortion, and Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger with the real KKK as population control. Margaret Sanger is a eugenics and is working today. The #1 cause of death for black people in America is abortion. The most dangerous place for a black man today, or a black baby, black woman, is in their mother's stomach. And that is a programming that's pushed through, I got a new word for 2024, the red media. That is the red media.
Did he just create a new buzzword? A new racist dog whistle? He just created a new anti-Semitic dog whistle. We're going to be seeing red media. So just by him doing this, we've seen so many anti-Semites pick up the Kanye torch and start going everywhere protesting with this signs about oh, Kanye is right about the Jews. Now he's just creating new dog whistles. He's just having actively the worst possible impact he could on online discourse by creating new anti-Semitic dog whistles live with full camera crew.
If you go to Apple right now, go to Apple Music. Let's load up the top 10 songs. I guarantee you they're promoting black serial killing.
Absolutely.
Not just one.
What?
They're promoting black. The red media is making money off of blacks being serial killers to each other. Also misogynistic. The red media is making...
To be clear, he's basically saying the Jews are genociding black people through abortion. That is his claim. And his evidence is abortions occur, and there are some Jewish CEOs of music companies and media companies.
Occurred is occurred.
There's no documents. There's no evidence
Spark
of a
has
conspiracy.
Donated $100.
Whoa!
Jewish Ukrainian Marylander solidarity.
Oh my goodness! I just got funded by the red media. My goodness. Well, thank you, red media. I was here. I was criticizing, Kanye as asked in the DMs and the emails, and thank you very much. I hope you guys think I'm doing a great job right now, because I'm a globalist. I support the global homo. We have, our interests are in line with each other, okay? We're business partners. I don't think of this as a boss and employee relationship that a lot of people would call this. I would say we're a family, I would say we're business partners, but also family. We keep it professional, but we're family here. Thank you so much for the $100. Thank you, Mr. Pro-Social Spark from Red Media Incorporated.
Money off of that. And God sees it. But I understand, and I'm not judging because the oppressed becomes the oppressor. And it is our time now. Blacks are coming into money. We are not scared anymore. And I showed you that I crossed that line.
Did he just say he wants to be an oppressor? Did he just say the oppressed become... Like, is he just saying, I can't wait till it's my time to get at the Jews? Is that what he's... Or is he saying that right now the Jews are the oppressor, but now we will overtake them and become the oppressor? Well, I wonder why no business wants to work with him. I can't comprehend it.
They tried to bankrupt me. They tried to say I was crazy, and I'm alive. We haven't had a full black community since the gentrification of Harlem and Black Wall Street, which was torn down. But I know my brothers, my engineers, my architects, my farmers are going to rise up. And if it meant they had to take me and drag me like Emmett Till in front of everyone because I whistled.
Dude, he literally whistled, as in dog whistled. He created a new dog whistle. You're not Emmett Till because you lose some millions of dollars because you can't stop showing porn and making Hitler rants and talking about how the Jews control everything. This is not the Emmett Till experience. Emmett Till was lynched, actually lynched.
I know my brothers, and I have no reason to lie. My family was taken away from me. My reputation has been smeared. I get it. So let's close with a prayer. Father God, thank you.
What? Did he just transition about his family leaving? Did the Jews make your family leave? Is this also their fault too? Is he accusing the Jews of causing his family to fall apart? Is that his accusation? That the Jews cucked him? That the Jews employed Pete Davidson to take away a Kardashian from him? Is that, I guess from his perspective, is how did that lanky, skinny, white nerd take away Kim Kardashian from me? It must be some higher power. It must be the Jews. It has to be, because how else, right? I guess that's how it looks from his perspective. I have no clue. Jesus.
Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for the voice. Thank you for the clarity.
He's just like, God, why did you do this? I'm one of the top 10 best performing artists in the world. He's SNL. Why? And not Norm Macdonald SNL either. How did this happen? This is the only explanation.
Thank you for the experience, and thank you for the love. Because even though the real hate is what's happening on the media, and the idea of DEF CON was to get protected for a time like this,
yelling at DEFCON 3 on the Jews does not sound like I care about the defensive interests of the black community. That's not what is communicated through that statement.
Lead with love. I have no association to any hate group. If any hate happens upon any Jewish person, it is not associated, because I am demanding that everyone...
You can't say that. Okay, if somebody just started using all of my phrases in like hate crimes, right? As we're seeing people saying Kanye is right about the Jews and big protests, not big protests, but like small, like anti-Semitic protests at buildings and at like street corners and stuff, like using his name, just saying you're right. There's literally nothing else. Just look like Kanye and Jews, and whatever you find, Kanye's right about it. Like you're using your name to advance anti-Semitism because they believe what you're saying is what they stand for as anti-Semites. As you admitted earlier, you are one as well. Like, and you just say, nope, not my business. I mean, well, if it's not your business, then stop saying the anti-Semitic comments.
Walk in love. Even though there's been things that have happened wrong to me that made me want to speak up, that you guys saw in the past 2 weeks. You saw the power. You saw Ari Emanuel come out in public and ask, if that happened in public, what do you think happened in private? And what do you think happened in private to so many people for so many years? But what I'm telling everyone, no matter what background you are, no matter what socioeconomic class you are, walk with love right now. Do what God would want. What would Jesus do? Walk with love, spread happiness. I thought that I wasn't gonna be like MLK and stand there. There's times
I don't think MLK ever talked about the red media.
Felt very Malcolm X. But for some reason, God has called me to love and to ask for love. For everyone, it's time for us just to love, because love is the answer. It is the only way.
He goes on a 15-minute rant about anti-Semitism and then says the answer is love.
Gandhi said, someone who was actually considered to be a racist, right? Gandhi said...
Can I just say, when you're trying to like, he's like bringing up Gandhi as like, oh, he's Gandhi, so it's a good quote. But then he clarifies, but don't wait. Remember, he's racist. And then he says the quote, as if that was supposed to make us be like, oh, that's why we should listen to this quote. Or, oh, yes, let's listen to that quote. Huh, okay. It'd be like if it was like, hey, you know, John Wayne once said, but to be clear, horrific racist. He once said, like, it sounds like you're like, he's racist like me. You're just, hey, people might not know this. I don't think that's what he's trying to communicate, but that's what it came off as.
An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Jesus, Father God, spread the love. Put the love in our hearts and know that we are not each other's enemy, but we're all children of you. And you can bring this world to a peaceful place on earth as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen. Love you guys.
Thank you, Kanye.
Okay, that's enough of that. Let's finish with Kanye. Dude, I heard he had a really, really good interview with Lex Fridman. I heard it was really, really good. Do you guys want to watch it? Okay. No, yes, sure. We have to. It was well done. Lex, yeah, because the reason I want to do this one is because Lex is Jewish. That's why I'm really interested. It's part of the reasons I'm really interested in the interview, because I wonder how Lex goes through these questions, because I heard Lex did push back on it. It's boring AF. Big maybe? No? Yeah, that comes up. Is there a better interview that somebody could point me towards that I should be really paying attention to? Not this one. It's good. Watch it. Okay, well, then we'll watch it.
The following is a conversation with Ye.
Jesus, it's 2 hours and 26 minutes. Okay, let's just choose which one we want to do. So, engineering, Kim Kardashian, sex and future of humanity, happiness. That one's just titled The Holocaust. Fashion. Dude, I just love it. It's like, oh, sex and the future of humanity, engineering, happiness, and then it goes from happiness to Holocaust, and then back to fashion. It's just, what the fuck?
Kids out there.
What the fuck? What a wild, what a wild interview. We have a winner. Ding, 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 ding. We know what we're watching. More media and anti-Semitism. Trusty people accountability. Okay, so we're going to do two sections. We're going to do Holocaust and anti-Semitism, because that's, I think, what we're actually interested in here, because we're terrible people.
As we become more technologically savvy, that, my friend, is why engineering isn't everything. That you have to desperately study the lessons of history. In Nazi Germany, science was used to create atrocities. Engineering, the same. Engineering could be a tool of war.
We're still in the Holocaust. A Jewish friend of mine said,
"No, stop, stop, no, Kanye." He just brings up the Nazis. He just lightly puts like a swastika on the table, and Kanye just picks it up and saying, "Holocaust is still happening." Why? Why? Could you imagine if Kanye, after all these interviews, was like, "Okay, I'm gonna 180 and be so pro-Jewish. Actually, I'm so pro-Jewish, I don't think the Holocaust ever ended." Like, but that's not what's going on, because we know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say abortion. He's gonna say, God, dude.
Go visit the Holocaust Museum. And my response was, let's visit our Holocaust museum, Planned Parenthood.
With all due respect, I grew up in the
Dude.
Soviet Union. I'm Jewish. Parts of my family perished in the Holocaust of Nazi Germany. I have to push back that there is a difference of the atrocities at that scale, at that time, on an entire people.
I was going to say the number. That's the difference.
It's not the number.
Because 6 million, well, also, African Americans are actually Jew also. The lost tribe of Israel.
Push back on that too.
Okay, so well, everyone came from Africa.
Dude, I gotta say, but that's the, anyway. Oh my God, this is so bad. I didn't think it would be this bad. So the thing is, you have to push back on the idea that abortion is murder, or that abortion, like the amount of pain and suffering, like taking something that's like this big, that can't feel, that cannot feel, does not have the ability to think, has no ability to have a consciousness, and snuffing that out is not the same as taking a human being and putting him under the scalpel of Joseph Mengele in the horrific experiments that happened during the Holocaust. These are not the same things. These are just not the same things. You have to just like push that home. Abortion isn't murder.
I am African. I'm basically African American. We're brothers.
And we're both Jew, and we're brothers. So
we're human.
6 million people died in the Holocaust. Over 20 million have died by the hands of abortion. And the media promotes the My Body, My Choice, which is actually still a promotion for Planned Parenthood. 50% of Black deaths a year is actually abortion. It's not the cop with the knee. It's not black on black violence and gang violence. It's not
nobody. By the way, you could also look at like white people who get abortions as well, or Asian people who get abortions. But let's be clear, nobody considers that to be a death when it comes to like, or actually accounting of any countries in the world. When it comes to government statistics on deaths a year, none of them account abortions. None of them. We treat them just different on a societal level, and on a scientific level, an embryo is not the same thing as a full-grown human person. And so to try to treat these two things as of equal value when it comes to just a human experience level is just ridiculous to me. And for him to just try to at all compare that to the atrocities of the Holocaust not only feels unscientific, it just feels like just without compassion. Like he feels like he knows what he's. It's hard. I have to think he has, on some level, he has to know what he's doing.
Heart attacks, it's actually abortion. The most dangerous place for a Black person in America is in their mother's stomach.
There's 900 to 1 million abortions in the United States a year. I hear you. But there's something about the rape, the torture, the murder of children, women, men, the complete humiliation and just the suffering that was endured during World War II.
That's what we deal with on our TVs right now with Black people.
That's not. Dude, what do you mean? That's not. You're not. Not all Black people are sent to a camp and rape system. It is not illegal to be Black in the United States, and if you are Black, they'll just send you to a camp where you'll be raped and then murdered after completely trying to erase your culture and people in an attempt to systematically kill them all. That is just not happening in the United States today. There's discrimination against Black people. There's racism against Black people, but the Holocaust is not currently happening against Black people. It's just not happening. This is a lie.
Soros would use Black trauma economy to win an election. And what I love is having a healthy conversation, and as opposed to there's certain things, boom, this.
The prison industrial complex, Dylan. If you think the prison industrial complex in America today, you know what? Look at the Holocaust, right? They didn't put Germans in there for being Germans, right? They didn't put everybody in there. There's white people in prison. There's Asian people in prison. There's people all across the board in prison. And the systematic level of rape and torture that are going on in the Holocaust is not to the same level. Is not to the same level in our prisons. And our prisons are not just race-based systems. It is true that Black people are disproportionately targeted in policing. It is true that policing in this country has a problem with racism, but there are white people in our prisons as well. They didn't take people off the corner of the street in Nazi Germany for random Aryan people and just throw them in the prisons. Not throw them in the prison, just throw them in the Holocaust. Like, this isn't the same system. It's just not. The intentions of the system are designed to do two totally different things. The system hurts everyone. It hurts some people disproportionately. But the Holocaust was targeted. It was targeted towards Jews. Jews, homosexuals, and other minority groups. And only them. Prisons affect minorities far more than other groups. Are you trying to say that today there's a modern Holocaust against black people? Are you honestly trying to argue that in my chat right now? I'm telling you they have a disproportionate effect. But a disproportionate effect does not equal a genocide. And it does not equal the Holocaust. There's a reason why we call one thing discrimination and one thing genocide. We call one thing individual racism and one thing systematic racism. These terms have definite meanings. Meanings that carry with them harsh implications that mean the eliminations of millions of people. Prison's happening now though, but it's not a Holocaust, you moron. I'm actually gonna ban you. You can't be this dumb. I'm not saying prisons are not bad. But they're not the Holocaust. You gotta reel it in, buddy. You gotta get your senses about you, man. And we're not even talking about prisons. We're talking about Planned Parenthood. He thinks Planned Parenthood is the Holocaust. Yeah, actually, Discord or ban. Discord or ban right now. This is a Discord or ban moment. I will do a Discord or ban moment. Site chat just chilling. Site chat is just chilling right now. Anyway, where were we? Back to the interview.
Drops, people gonna have pussy hats on. Boom. This drops, it's gonna be, black people and white people with signs. Boom. This drops. So, hey, China, hey, left agenda, hey, what we're gonna do is say that our species can have a healthy conversation. Can
I just linger on this? Because when you say Jewish media, there's a echo of a pain that people feel that reminds
you're saying it's redundant, right?
No, I'm not saying it's redundant. I'm saying
it's redundant.
You're saying it's redundant.
It's a redundant
I'm saying it's something I'm saying that it's something that Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany, said. I'm saying it's been said so many times.
It's quite literally what the Nazis would say. It says, hey, these Nazis, which on average are these Nazis, sorry. I switched up the Nazis and the Jews for a second in my head. I don't know how I did that. But the Nazis were like, these Jews control the media. They are controlling our society. They're a big reason why we lost the war. We must eliminate them. Like, Dylan, no, yeah, it was a mess up.
In order to murder and torture.
It is wild that Kanye is quite literally just repeating a Nazi talking point. Just over and over and over and over. Kanye West, one of the most popular rap artists in the world.
Jewish people. That it just rings wrong.
And that's the
just
thing.
Like the N-word when spoken by people that have the same skin color as me. It reminds people of a very dark time.
I know. If Jewish people would accept that I'm Jew, then they would see what I'm saying in a different way. They would hear it in a different way.
But see, the people
there's no way you could be like, hey, I'm actually Jewish. So anyway, back to why there's a Holocaust ongoing. That's never going to be accepted.
Saying you're Jewish.
No, I'm Jew, not Jewish. Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
You're a Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That
Orthodox
comes
Christian.
From, right. But are you a follower of the philosophy of the Black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from. Not all of those folks are extremists, but some are extremists.
I'm a follower of the idea. I have a vague idea that all people came from Africa. But what I wanted to do, now I could Andy Kaufman this about 7 more minutes and then tell you what it is, what the whole point is.
Let's count 7 minutes.
No,
do less.
I did this to do a spoiler alert.
Sure, spoiler.
What's the first thing I said at the beginning?
We're talking about engineering and humans. We're all human.
And then what did I say we shouldn't focus on?
Race.
Not just that. I said they shouldn't teach this in school.
History.
The history, because what they do, what schools are doing is exactly what the CIA.
Wait, does he think we shouldn't have a history class? Does he think we shouldn't teach children history in school? Well, that would explain his view on the Holocaust, wouldn't it?
What they do, what schools are doing is exactly what the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films.
What?
They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes...
Did he just say the CIA killed Bambi and whatever?
A purchase of ice cream. Off that pain comes, I need some more toys. Off that pain comes, I need a bigger house.
The CIA killed Bambi's mom. This is a conspiracy I haven't heard before. I do like this. I'm going to believe it now. He's convinced me.
Off that pain comes, I need more girls than my wife. Off that pain comes, so they put that pain in to make us, now we're the orphans of capitalism, to make us be consumers. And we need to be a community, not just consumers. So I could have went another 7 minutes by being a person who presents himself in a way that says, well, I don't have to feel your pain because I also have pain too that's not being recognized. And in every interview, when I say, well, why did I get to the point of putting up the tweet? No one wants to understand why I got to that point,
You
right?
had pain. You had pain.
Yeah, but no one...
pain in your heart.
But let's say this. Undoubtedly, Jewish people have a lot of movies about...
Dude, look how much there is they talk about the Holocaust. They talk about the Holocaust for like nearly an hour.
That pain, and Black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery, right? It's almost impossible to find a movie about Mansa Musa. When you go to the African History Museum in Washington, D.C., it doesn't start with the idea of Africans being kings. It starts with the idea of Africans being slaves. But here,
I think that has to do with the fact that that's what's most relevant to American history, like most recent American history. And they're going to teach the recent history, which has more of an impact on our daily life. They're going to teach that more probably. And they all generally teach recent history a lot more. I do think it would be cooler if they taught more African history though. But I think there's a reason why they concentrate more on the system of slavery than Mansa Musa, the person that never stepped foot on American soil, in an American history class.
There's another interesting point about this. This was said to me one time and it stuck with me as a family member of mine. With Africans, how many times you've heard like a rapper or, you know, talk about we were kings? That's incorrect if we're Jew. If we're Jew, and since we are, we weren't the kings. We were the slaves that Moses freed. Africans have always said, you've listened to rap music and hear Black people say, we kings, we blood of the pharaohs.
Dude, he's making no sense. There's no way to even comprehend what he's even trying to say here. He's saying that Black people were the, like Black people, the ethnicity of the Black people were the real people that were freed, and it was a different tribe than the one of the one that Lex believes he's a part of, or are they both part of it? Like I can't decipher it.
And if we are Jew, then we weren't. We were the people that Moses freed. And when we talk about, have you heard Black people talk about 400 years of slavery? Mm-hmm. All right. That is and we're having this history lesson, right?
And history doesn't matter. You're exploring ancient history and drawing deep wisdom from it. And at the same time saying we need to forget all of it. We need to put that behind us.
Absolutely. We need to forget it and we need to move forward.
Did he not understand what... Okay, that was a really insightful comment from Lex, by the way. I don't know much about Lex, but this interview he's coming off very, very good in, I would like to say. I kind of like him. He's winning me over. But like that was a good comment from him. Number one, you tell us all we need to put all this racism stuff, all this stuff behind us. But on the other hand, you're trying to take extremely deep wisdom from ancient history. Like, how can you do that at the same time? Say we need to get past history, but also we need to remember it to like solve our current day issues. Like, And he just responds to him bringing up the contradiction was like, yes, I do agree with that contradictory thing you just said. Like, he's just acknowledging that he's contradictory.
There's so much wisdom to draw from history, even the 20th century. Look at this. Communism. Without the lessons of history of the 20th century, communism sounds like a great idea, except that some of the worst atrocities conducted by Stalin and Mao that killed 50, 100 plus million people, not just killed, tortured, starvation, where people, cannibalism, they ate each other, they ate their children. There's just dark people should read some books on this, on the Holodomor in the 1930s.
But I disagree.
With that lesson, we would, and now it's becoming more popular. Marxism and communism.
I'm not disagreeing that happened. I'm disagreeing.
You can put all the way up to the Holodomor now. Okay.
That we need to harp on the things that happen, because the truth is, I'm giving a fact. 50% today of, let's say you don't call black people Jew, right? Black people's deaths today is abortion today, right now. Like that, it's not racism. That's too wide of a term. It's genocide and population control that black people are in.
Like Lex has to give pushback to that. The word of genocide, and I'm really sick of people using it willy-nilly. Genocide is a serious term where people try to target a population. They're trying to target a population and erase them from the earth. And erase them, right? It's very serious accusation. And the only evidence he has for it is people in the black community electively choose to get abortions. And they have a lot of them. And that is the state government genocide. The genocide, like, that is not what a genocide is. That's somebody accessing reproductive health care. This happens in every this happens in Norway. This happens in UK. This happens in countries all across Europe, France. There's many countries that have Japan. There's many countries that have abortions. Like, they're not all doing genocides against their population.
Today in America, that is promoted by the music and the media that black people make, that Jewish record labels get paid off of, or media companies. Record labels and media company also, so let's give it a wider.
You know, I agree with Martin Luther King. I have a dream too.
Martin Luther King,
one day you would not be judged by the color of your skin or your race, black or Jew, but by the content of your character. All the assholes that fucked you over in the music industry, fuck artists over in the music industry, are individuals. They're not Jews.
They are Jewish.
It doesn't. They're human with opportunities, and they took those opportunities. I don't care if they're Jewish.
Do you feel like I should release that pain and separate it?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're saying I should release that pain and separate it, then I'm telling you, you should release your pain and separate it, and we could get to this, the list of how you are a being with engineering opportunities.
That's 100%. I see what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. The pain, I'm going to let it go. Engineering challenges, I get it. One of the problems you highlight is people get fucked over in the music industry, and get fucked over in the media, get fucked over all over the place.
They created, there was a Jewish trainer that honestly brought me to the hospital and put in.
I think Lex needs to be given more pressure on this idea of genocide. Like that is such a big claim, and it feels like it just kind of got dropped there and it's just laying there and got no pushback.
Press that I went to the hospital. I know friends that off of exhaustion, a Jewish doctor, they diagnosed me.
Also, can I say, when I was talking to Destiny about my channel and what I'm trying to do with it, Lex actually gave some pretty helpful advice in the chat. It was very nice of him.
Jewish.
Because they were, right? Diagnosed me with bipolar disorder and shot me with medication and put me on medication.
The thing is, he does have mental health issues. So these Jewish doctors probably were right. Like they probably were right. But now he's trying to say, they're trying to call me crazy, like those Jews who conspired and because I have Jewish doctors. Or it could be you believe everybody's conspiring because they were right about you having mental health issues and you should be on your medicine.
Then put it in the press, and every time, even if I wore the wrong color hat that a nigger is not supposed to wear, right? Then they immediately say he's off of his shit, he's off his meds, he's off his rocker, and it's literally used as a scarlet letter control mechanism for the people. Understand the kids, the colleges, the high schools. What do you think they put me right now? They put me as the prophet, not the leader. It doesn't have to be the leader, right? Because we need a more intelligent person to be the leader, but at least, right? They put me as the prophet. They put me as the only person that would say this. And I'm just saying that was 4 Jewish members that controlled my voice, because for the fact that 90% of Black people in entertainment, from sports to music to acting, are in some way tied into Jewish business people, meaning that in some way, just like if Ram is sitting next to Obama or Jared's sitting next to Trump, there's a Jewish person right there controlling the country, the Jewish people controlling that who gets the best video or not, controlling what the media says about me.
A person, not Jewish. Let me just say one thing.
But they are, though. That's the only thing. It just so happens that they are. It just so happens that they are. That doesn't mean that I hate them.
Yes,
that just means that they are.
But it's a dog whistle. Two, let me just say, as I would love to add more love to the world, I would love you to do that as a person with a big voice, with a big, powerful voice that a lot of people look up to. And when you say Jewish media, it's funny how this world works that way. When you say Jewish media or Jews are controlling the voice of Black artists, Black people, Black artists, when you say that...
Am I not allowed to say it out loud?
You can say it. There's a large number of people that are hurting and have anger and even have hate in their heart when they hear Jewish media. That hate starts being directed towards the Jewish people. Do you acknowledge that? Do you understand? Can you feel the hate in the world? That's that comes to the surface when you say stuff like that.
Okay, I feel that
was very, very heartfelt question. And he was strong to make sure to get that one through.
When we go into therapy, my dad was a therapist, and obviously I've got some therapy skills myself. A lot of people, my music is healing. These type of spa-like existences are healing. The color palettes I use are healing. And we can use healing words, right? What I really feel I feel that there's no accountability and no responsibility on Jewish people in media to at least start with owning up with the facts of what's dealt with and tell me if I say the facts out loud to the point of Ari Emanuel.
But when you call it the Jewish controlled media, you make it sound like there's a conspiracy from the Jews to maintain Jewish control, when it's really just there are more Jews in media positions than there are of them in the United States per capita, which is very different from Jewish media control. If you really wanted to scientifically analyze that point, you could, if you're talking about it honestly, and not in this way to make it seem like there's a massive conspiracy and that the Jews put you on the medication and that the Jews are making you lose your Adidas sponsorship and the Jews doing this. When they're not doing this, you're doing this. You're causing yourself to lose all these deals. You're causing yourself to go through these bad business arrangements. You're the one showing porn to Adidas executives, not the Jews.
Writing a letter in the Financial Times trying to take food out of my children's mouth, telling people that they're not allowed to work with me. Even Chris Como or Pierce Morgan getting me to apologize and separate Jewish business people from the families of the Jewish business people, which I did. Update. I did that. That already happened. And the
that
way
was a shitty apology. That wasn't really an apology. But shout out to that conversation.
I need to get on my knees and kiss the dick of Howard Stern. And
you don't need to kiss anyone's dick.
But that's what you guys are acting like.
You guys, look at that.
Because you're talking about it as a shitty opinion, apology.
Oh my God.
But where's our fucking apology? Watch this.
Sorry.
We don't get. Thank you. Now let's move on.
Sorry. Do I need to get on my knees or no?
And kiss my dick.
Oh shit.
So
this escalated quickly.
So that's escalated quickly. So
nice.
What? No, I'm saying where's our apology?
Man.
But we can't get to apology because you're telling me there's no right way for me to word it.
They're talking about kissing each other's dicks in the Holocaust section of the podcast, man.
So tell me, for me, a person who's been fucked on my deals and a person that has friends that never figured out how to make shoes with a German company that couldn't tell me to wear a BLM shirt and take off my red hat, like what would have happened if I was at Nike.
I wonder why specifically a German company would be very, very quick to remove somebody from brand partnerships when it comes to comments about the Holocaust and anti-Semitism. I wonder why specifically a company in Germany would be particularly interested in not having a business relationship with somebody making these statements, and then news stories coming out about you possibly praising Hitler in front of staff. I wonder why. It's a very difficult Rubik's Cube. We gotta figure out.
Right. Tell me exactly how to engineer the situation I'm in.
I'll tell you exactly how. You got a big voice. Have the balls as a man to call out the individuals. Don't call them Jews. Call them by their name and start a war against those individuals. They're not Jewish.
But if that's the case, will you help me with that?
Sure.
Okay.
100%. Assholes are well, let me flip that too. I don't understand the industry well. I see that people are fucking people over for sure. But how do you solve that? If you right now run the world's, you're doing a million things, but say you ran also a record label.
I have ran a record label. Well, I've been ran by a record label where I was the face of a record label and had Big Sean and different people complaining to me. And I knew fuck about running a record label. I was simply just a talented producer and an influencer that then started good music, but I wasn't the one running good music.
How would you do it differently?
This is something I propose. I would look at the top 10 execs in 3 fields, in sports, film, and music. And I would look at the top 10 clients, talent. I would look at the top talent in each of those fields, the top 10 of them. And some of them are going to be Tom Brady. Some of them are going to be Taylor Swift. Some of them, they're not all going to be black, right? Some of them.
I gotta say, my relationship with the Jewish community could never be better, man. Could never be better. Did you know that before I went to Ukraine, I have this right here. A local rabbi gave this to me for protection. It's like I think it's called mezuzah or something along those lines. It's a Jewish religious item that they said, we're giving this to you. You're supposed to put it on your door, but we're giving this to you so it protects you when you go over there. So I guess I'm not trying to say I'm returning the favor, but going after Kanye West. But my opinion of the local Jewish community could never be higher.
So some of them will be Adele, right? And we'll look at all their contracts transparently, and we'll compare the notes and re-engineer like it's a new constitution. Yeah. Because when I told my dad when I was 19 that I was going to get into the music industry, he begged me not to. He said, I heard it's treacherous. Now I'm in a position where I've been through it. I saw it. I went out, made some money somewhere else. I saw my name get smeared. I saw my family get destroyed. I saw my reputation get destroyed. And I'm back here to have this I'm back here as a being with engineering opportunities.
So,
wait a second. If you say it's a shitty apology, what is the version of the apology short of kissing Howard Stern's dick?
I don't think anyone wants to kiss Howard Stern's dick.
That's the whole point, Howard Stern. Nobody wants to kiss your dick, so shut the fuck up. I said, and by the way, I'm antagonizing you, Howard Stern.
Why?
I used to be a fan of you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm still a fan sometimes.
Now you're just doing clickbait like everybody else. Now you're just a sad old man.
What did Howard Stern do?
Now, Howard Stern, this is the first time anyone's said your name in years. Your own family doesn't say your name unless they're calling to get their bills paid.
What? Whoa.
You're going hard.
Wow.
See, that's beautiful right there.
What?
That's much better than calling Jewish media. Go after individuals.
Okay,
go after individuals. And if you don't talk shit about me, talk shit about me. This is great.
And you know what that is?
Yeah, what's that? Engineering.
That's an engineer's approach.
Yeah, engineers. Yeah, yeah. You should learn some of that.
We all can use our pain against each other.
Yeah.
Or we can say we're a being with engineering opportunities. And we can know about history. So let me change something. We can have just to be judgmental. People say thou shalt not judge.
Dude, I'm sorry. Do you guys feel like Lex is talking to him like he's a toddler? It's hard to. It's really hard to tell. But it feels really weird, man. He kind of has to. Yeah.
I was talking to Camille Vasquez. She says, I'm very judgmental. That's what we're doing. I believe, now you could go to the Bible and one thing's going to say one thing, another thing may be contradicted in a way, and then the pastor has to unpack it. I believe that we are to judge. If you look at some food and it's got a fly coming out of it, you can then judge at that point. You're supposed to use your better judgment. But whenever someone doesn't want to change something they're doing, they'll say, don't judge me, right? But as a species, you called for me. You got the breakthrough. And by the way, it's only an engineer that I would respect to tell me of how to update how I'm communicating. Because this started off, right? I've been through all these interviews. Let me go to this. You said this was a sorry apology. I was very specific. I said the Jewish, because by the way, it's a barrage, right? It's a thing where I don't even remember the names at a certain point, right? Mm-hmm. It's like if a girl was getting raped by men, if that person's not 18, right? And she was getting raped since 14, right?
Yeah.
And she still got this face, this super like Irina Shayk level face, right? She might say, I hate men. That woman may say, I hate men. She might get to that point because she was raped. Yeah. On my contracts, and no one can say this is ramped up. No one, Howard Stern can't say that.
Is he comparing? No. Is he comparing a woman getting raped and then building like a hatred for men is like what the Jews did to him by getting him fired from Adidas? Holy shit. Dude, he's digging his hole deeper and deeper and deeper. There's no getting out of the holes he's digged himself into. He's compared the Holocaust to abortion. He's saying it's like he's getting raped by the Jews, basically, is the analogy he's now drawing. He has talked about how the Jews control the media. There's no going back. There's no digging his way out of this. Kanye has gone off the deep end. There's no recovering from this. And if there is, it's going to come with like a huge amount of mental health counseling. And dude, this guy, he's completely off the deep end. Like, it's over for him. He might have actually just destroyed the rest of his career through this.
This is ramped up. Ari Emanuel can't say this is ramped up. George Soros knows damn well
there it is.
That I'm not ramped up. George Soros knows, like, wow, this guy's like
I don't think George Soros knows who you are.
Guy that's looking at what I did and looking at how I control the world silently, and he's calling it out.
Of course,
and he's not using any of the fear tactics. I can't send his homeboys around him. I can't send his wife to him. This guy, that's what George Soros sees, right?
George Soros, listen to this.
Right?
Listen,
so
he just basically made the allegation George Soros caused his divorce. That George Soros manipulated the world to make it so he couldn't visit his family. He's completely off the deep end. He's insane. You just think everyone's out to get him, especially the Jews, apparently. It's just impossible for him to imagine him losing his wife without outside forces, I guess. George Soros cucked him because no way that somebody else could apparently be like his wife. I don't know.
What you guys are actually asking me to do, I'm comparing myself to that 18-year-old beautiful woman that had been.
Yeah, he's just saying I'm comparing myself to the woman who was raped. Instead of rape, though, I lost a business deal after I showed executive porn and talked about the Jews a lot.
Mistreated by men for 4 years of her life, right? And you're saying, you know, as a man, you can't blame all men. And I'm saying, as a responsible, forward philosopher leader, okay, I'll drop the pain and I will specify, because I'm up here. I lost my fucking family. I lost my kids. I lost my best friend in fashion. I lost the Black community. I lost, you know, people said I lost my mind, all of these things, lost my reputation. And I'm up here just like, I just want my.
I mean, it's sad, but ultimately, like, this is all your responsibility. It's not the responsibility of the Jews. Why are you taking it out on the Jews? This is sad. I hope his life improves. I hope he has a good relationship with his kids. But ultimately, this is all his fault.
My family, but I don't want my family to have to say what the left wants us to say. To have to say what China wants us to say. I want to be an American and protect my kids and protect my wife and raise my
50% divorce rate in the United States, and somehow George Soros caused this specific one.
Kids as Christians, and have my wife be a Christian and innovate, and America made rock and roll. I want to innovate as a creative person and be a successful American, but all of that had been taken away from me. So I'm coming back and I'm removing the PSTD right now, right? I'm standing up and saying the only way.
The PSTD, I think it means PTSD. I don't know what I don't know what that was.
That we're going to be able to get past this, and the way God is going to use me right now is for me to stop talking about the pain, stop talking about what happened, and do something about it. And that's where I'm at right now in this moment. Like, yeah, people agree. At least there was something where you could say.
Somebody says Pacific time, Pacific Standard Time Disorder. Brilliant. Yeah, that's what it is.
He has a reason of why he got to that tweet. And what you're doing for me today is saying, yo, that was a sorry apology, and let's specify. I'm not asking for anyone out here to empathize or sympathize for a dude worth $11 billion that can make money disappear. Appear out of thin air in 5 different industries. You know, I'm not asking for anybody to sympathize with someone who's married to Kim Kardashian, dated Irina Shayk, blah. Like, I feel like I'm just not going to get the sympathy vote in this situation, right? So
I feel your pain.
Yeah, I feel like no one's going to feel my pain. Only Brad and Leo can feel my pain, right? So
but still.
But here today, when you said it's a sorry apology, what's the apology that you're looking for as a Jewish engineer?
Here's the big question.
As Lex, let's not talk about you being Jewish. As Lex, what's the apology that you want me to say to, am I allowed to say Jewish? Tell me, is it anti-Semitic for Ye to say Jewish out loud?
No, there's, I don't like the allowed that presumes censorship. I think you choose, you have a powerful voice.
Did I prove that there was censorship over the past 2 weeks?
Who censored you? Oh, Drink Champs.
Oh my Lord.
Oh, like Twitter and so on?
Twitter.
That has less to do.
Drink Champs.
That hurt you, the Drink Champs, that no one took it down?
No, I wanted an answer to the question, not about him being taken off Twitter for talking about going DEF CON on the Jews. Come on, I wanted to answer the previous question, had more substance. Come on.
Took down your conversation.
No.
It didn't hurt you. Man, you gotta be honest about the pain.
We're still the kids we used to be. I put my hand on the stove to see if I still bleed. and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. No,
reminder: this segment's title is still the Holocaust. Just a reminder.
You think? You know, I went to Japan for 2 to 3 months, right? The day I had Sunday service, my kids are supposed to be there, and my kids were nowhere to be found. And I text Kim and said, "Where are my kids?" We get into an argument, and then I get a text from a number I don't know, and it's Pete Davidson bragging about being in bed with my wife. Then
the title of the segment is still a Holocaust. Why are we talking about this?
Just fucking with you?
Well, at that point, it's like they're trying to put me in jail or put a friend of mine in jail.
Who?
Because then I'm gonna go surround the hotel.
Is he saying the Jews did this? Or is he saying the Jews made Pete Davidson do this? Is that the accusation? I can't. Pete Davidson is through George Soros is working through Pete Davidson to screw your wife and then brag to you about it. I don't. Okay.
Well, you know, do something which would have me not be able to be here. And instead, I walked away from that situation. I went to Japan, like the samurai that I am, and went to the top of the mountain. And because I knew that, I knew there was no way she could love this dude, not just because he's ugly. He's not black. She likes black guys. Every guy that she, is with.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. Sometimes that's just regional. Like, I've never dated a white woman, but I'm sure if under certain circumstances I could date a white woman. I've only ever dated black women, just because I live in Prince George's County. But I'm sure under certain circumstances, I guess that's just what you find attractive, but apparently not, because she did. Much to your chagrin, but she did. She went white.
Looks exactly the same. Ray J, Reggie Bush, at that time Kanye West. She has a type, just like how I have a type. Like a lot of my girls look kind of similar to her because in a video game character, people have their type, right? So I knew that this was
you can have more than one type.
The princess has a type, and she likes Mario.
You no, don't say this is like Mario. No, don't validate this nonsense. She can have more than one type. You can like a blonde and a brunette. You can like a skinny white guy and Kanye West.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
As somebody who cares for you and hopefully can be a friend, I gotta say these words and the words about Jews is not the words of a samurai, of a great man. I would say, you said something that resonated with a lot of people when you said George Bush doesn't care about black people. I have to say, as somebody who cares for you, that the artist formerly known as Kanye West doesn't care about Jewish people. In the same way you spoke about George Bush being a politician and not giving a fuck about the poor people that suffered after Katrina. You're not giving a fuck about the suffering of the Jewish people across the world.
Why am I not?
Because you're giving strength, motivation.
But we already updated. I gave an apology. You said it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Now you're telling me, no, I'm not gonna.
No, you don't need to kiss anyone's dick. What you're asking me to kiss. You have to say it was wrong to say. There's no Jewish media. There's no Jewish.
There isn't.
There's no control of the media by Jewish people.
You're an engineer, brother. If you're an engineer and you're not holding to the truth, that's not engineering.
Engineering is not.
Truth.
That's
there is
not.
No Jewish control of
that's
media.
hate. That's not engineering. Engineering says, I'm going to build a better record label.
It's called stereotypes.
And I'm going to respect art.
Stereotypes exist for a reason.
Engineers don't do stereotypes.
I do.
Stereotypes are dumb. They allow you to channel hate towards the other.
You know what the biggest thing is?
Yeah.
With a veteran that was sitting next to me at Cheesecake Factory last night, he said, the General Justice, he serves for whoever is the president, right? And he said, what's happening in politics is...
We're still in the topic of the Holocaust. That's a big jump. I don't know. This is a huge pivot.
We're forgetting we're on the same side. We're forgetting we're on this. This is someone is practically, now he's a nurse. So he's still, you know, fighting for humanity in a way. He went from holding, you know, guns in battle to being
Can I just say, Cheesecake Factory is really on point here.
A nurse, and when people are battling for their lives. And he said, we're forgetting we're on the same side. This is a person that no matter who becomes president, he can still be told to go to war. And the chaos that's created by the media has split the country in half. And what us as beings with an engineer opportunity need to do right now is find the blue water. Where are places that we agree on? And I want you to finish.
Dude, I'm sorry. He's complaining about how divided the country is, and his solution is to go after the Jews. That's not smart. That's not a smart engineering solution. That just divides the country further. The people who want this country divided the most, extremist terrorist groups, Nazis, neo-Nazis going out, displaying, like, just straight up putting up signs that says Kanye West is right about the Jews. The people who want us divided the most are excited about what you're saying. You're not looking at this as you're not contributing to the engineered solution. You're contributing to the problem the engineers are trying to fix.
Everything, hey, I'm gonna let you finish. Everything that you want to express to me, get off all. I'm your scarecrow today. I'm your punching bag today for everything I did, and I want you to stand up for all of the hate that I'm your Al Gore when he lost the election. Remember, he almost became a punching bag for the lady that had voted on him. And she just said all this stuff. And he's like, I know, I agree with you, right? But there's nothing, you know, that he could do about it. With this, it's like things that you're saying, I agree with you. You know, it's like if you sit some kids in the principal's office and I punch somebody, right? I took my hand, right, as what it really means. Even Aria Emanuel had to say, this is a pop icon, right? And I went and just punched an entire people at one time, or said that I was about to. I went like this.
Is he bragging about basically like, I will go after the Jews through... This is like him striking this group of people. Is he talking about the Jews right now?
Right? And I got blacked out, black mirrored, done, right? And it's like, what?
Yeah, that's a reasonable reaction to what you did, yes.
What were you even gonna do? And why did you go like this? I went like this because I can't even do, I would look insane to physically show you a metaphor, a physical representation of my last 20 years of what I've been through as a musician, as a father, and as a black person with a political opinion.
A great man still through the pain does the right thing. And I think the right thing is to not say that there's Jewish control of the media.
True. And that's incorrect, though. That's a fucking lie. There is. And they did come and bully me. It proved the point.
No, the reason you don't say it is because the world is much bigger than the, forgive me, the narrow little world you exist in. Your impact stretches way past those little boardroom meetings over contracts.
So what should I have done? What should I have done?
Not say that you should be a strong man that doesn't mention religion or people, and then fight. Do you want to win this fight?
How do I win? How do we win?
Call out individual people, build. That's one way because they have a big voice. The other voice that I prefer is to build another label.
I feel like you're controlling my creative narrative and because just like how you're telling me I shouldn't have said that, do you think there were people telling me I shouldn't have wore a red hat?
No,
I'm sure there is, but you don't need. By the way, I would say yes to both. But I'm sure there is. But just because there's people who criticize you for one thing doesn't mean, and you were right on that, doesn't mean that every time you get criticized, you just say, "Oh, you're wrong because I was right that other time," even though he was also wrong about that.
Because you asked me, what should I have done? You're supposed to be a scarecrow, So I thought I'm gonna beat the shit out of the scarecrow with my words, right? You let me.
Yeah.
It was consensual.
The punching bag is a bad because scarecrow actually has a different real
that's right.
meaning.
I'm like,
so let's say a
that's right.
punching bag. I should have said scarecrow.
Yeah.
But every single person that I've sat with from the point when I wore the red hat till now has done the same thing. Sit in the principal's office and don't do what you're doing.
We're in the janitor's closet right now together. And I'm not, the red hat is very different. The red hat is, you have a set of beliefs. You represent half the country that has a hope, a vision for the future of America. That's very different than without any purpose whatsoever saying Jewish media, Jewish control of the media.
You said there's no purpose. So you're taking away my history and my reason of what my purpose was.
I'm saying it was dumb.
Also, it can,
I'm speaking my voice, vocalizing it.
Also, it's God's plan. There's a lot of things that open up. Let me tell you something that opened up. There's a guy, like I told you, that was running STEM Player, who I've had issues with. We hadn't got paid on time, certain things, right? And he took his IQ, his know-how, his engineering know-how he basically was trying to Adidas me with, even though I was the bigger money in the situation. That was fun, and we funded together. And he hired these engineers, and he said, well, because of your comments, we're not going to be able to hire anybody else. And I was like, well, how many Jewish people do we have in our company? He said, I don't know. He didn't say exactly, right? I said, do we have black people? He said, yes. I said, how many? He said, 2. So we have like 60 full-time employees, like 40 half-time and part-time. And I took as a responsibility. Let's take a step back from us being one species and say, hey, you're Jewish, I'm black. Right?
Why step back?
For this example, for the sake of this example. Cool. And I said, wow, I'm sure I can hire more than 2 black engineers. And what happens is, because there are so many businessmen that just so happen to be Jewish, that it's good business, right? Just to monopolize. That's what people are looking. Everybody wants to be Elon, right? So I
disagree with that.
Okay, but let me finish this point.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
A lot of businessmen want to be as successful as Elon and as popular as Elon. A lot. Like, it just worded like that, which I hate the term a lot, actually. I want to be more specific, but I haven't done the math on it. Let's say some. Factually, for sure, there are some business people of all different walks and backgrounds that would like to be as rich and as popular as Elon Musk. So let me just take a step back from the we're one species into the we're separated by race, gender, socioeconomic class conversation, and say, as a black owner of 2 tech platforms, hardware and software, I need to take action. Let's not call it affirmative. Let's just say I need to take action, and I need to take accountability in ensuring that black engineers are hired, and guess what? Hired together. Because when the black people that are brilliant are separated from our culture, we forget who we are. And we'll get to a point where, you know, OJ will say, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Because just to be on the golf course, we put on the golf shirt. But the golf shirt might not be something that our culture would have done. And now our culture in poor communities is, oh, everybody's got Draco on them. Everybody's got a gun on them. Oh, if you run up on me on the gas station, I'm gonna kill you. Hey, you ain't got to talk to me like a man if I haven't killed at least 5 people. But you know what happens is we can kill 5 people, we could kill 10 people and still be in the media.
Are we done? Dude, how long does this go for, man? It goes on for so long and he says nothing. He just keeps talking and blabbering and he's saying nothing, man. He just says like a bunch of terrible stuff and the rest of it's just fluff. Can we pass on this? We might. We could skip to the second segment where he talks about media and anti-Semitism again. But then, like, oh, goodness.
Yeah, as long as we play by the rules, right? Because what will happen is any of these guys that have talked about killing people and different things, unless Trump had pardoned them, right? But let's say...
Does anybody know what time he gets upset with Lex? Because that's the point I want to make sure we get to touch. Because there's a point where he gets upset with Lex. Is there anything in this? I don't know. We'll just keep playing it. If somebody finds it, I think we should do a map time every 10 minutes to rest brain. Look at the most replayed part. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Ooh, I think I know where they got angry. I think it's the end of the segment. I think it's this area. Okay, so let's go to that. It's only a few minutes away.
In the fashion show, you had Puff Daddy. At that time, Puff Daddy had beef with Drake. Drake still came to the show, and Jay-Z had to break up the fight backstage. The designers, you had Jerry Lorenzo, that's head of Fear God. You had Kim Schraub, head of Skims. You had Virgil Abloh, head of Louis Vuitton. You had Dimna, head of Balenciaga, all working for Ye, for the leader, for the philosopher, right? For the person that who put this together? Me, that's who, right? You had these people working for the king of New York, basically the boss, Ye, right? You had Jay-Z in the audience, Rihanna in the audience, Beyonce in the audience, sitting next to Anna Wintour in this audience. And guess who heard wind of this? One of the richest men in the world, Bernard Arnault, caught wind of this. What's going on? They're building up something, and we need to stop it. So then he met with me and politely offered me backing for my clothing line.
Yeah, let's keep going.
I get Anna Wintour. I say, who should I use for my lawyer? She picks my lawyer for me, right? I just found out even a couple of days that the lawyer demanded an airplane during negotiations. Had nothing to do with me, right? They said that Bernard Arnault got freaked out, and then Alexander Arnault calls me and says the deal got dropped at the board. I went back and told my high-maintenance wife I was supposed to become this designer at Louis Vuitton, or the Louis Vuitton group was going to back the Kanye West line because that's how good I've done in fashion, babe. And now the deal is dropped. So then I did a second collection, and we didn't have any support to be able to build the collection. Then I went and found, and third collection, we did it. We took over MSG. Fourth collection went, and the show started an hour late. Then a week later, Kim got robbed. Then I told Scooter Braun, my manager at that time, I say, I'm looking, I need to go to Japan. I'm tired. He says, no, you need to make more money. I do 4 more shows.
Come on, where did they disagree?
I haven't been to the hospital since. And Trump will say, well, I'm not on medication. That's expect more.
I agree. That was dumb. I regret it.
And I suffer from exhaustion and go to the hospital. And suffered from exhaustion. By the way, I haven't been to the hospital since. Am I
missing it?
And haven't taken, medication in 2 years. And I'm sure there'll be people in the media, we won't say, where from will say, well, that's obvious, right? So, so right now I'm talking to you, right? I'm not on medication. I just go to sleep, right? I have sleep.
Have you been able to sleep?
This, that's too low hanging fruit for you. You're more. I expect more.
I agree.
I expect more.
I agree. That was dumb. I regret it.
That's like Pierce Morgan trying to grab ratings. Say like, you got a whole life ahead of you. These guys are at the end of their life.
Oh, good.
So this story
call me out of my shit. I love it.
But then,
okay. I think it must be over here. I just want to see them disagree so we can move on. Okay, I gotta see it. Take your meds though, but Jesus Christ.
Jokes. Maybe going too far in the jokes. You mentioned Anthony Jeselnik. That guy goes hard. That guy goes really hard, and it's great. He crosses all the lines, and that's why he's a genius. And that's what people feels refreshing when he does it. I don't know what it is.
But then it's like hurtful when I do it. But I'll tell you something that was interesting. I'm pretty sure Anthony doesn't like, sorry for the assumption, but just most comedians I know didn't vote for Trump.
That's interesting.
Not saying there aren't comedians that did, but just the ones I know, because I live in California, right?
But they have an appreciation for Trump because of the sense of humor.
Yeah.
I got to ask you about parlor and engineering because I'm interested about that.
Dum, 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 dum.
Hey man, I'm actually trying to hold it together. You're pretty offensive towards a lot, and
I'm not looking to be offensive. I really want to bring people together and get these sales done.
But the word, 100%, I see your vision.
How do we do that?
Somebody you care. Don't say Jewish media and Jewish controlled media.
JM.
Just
like,
he's giving it an
man,
abbreviation.
you sound like it sounds too much like 1930s Nazi Germany that was leading up to the atrocities.
True. Oh, he would say JM?
Yeah, he was branded JM. That's right. No, it's just the implied, like this memeified prejudice towards a group in a way that's going to lead to hate. And I know you don't mean that. I know you have love in your heart. That's
you know what's a prejudice towards a group that led to hate? BLM.
Well, dude,
BLM
stop.
Took a black person.
BLM is not Nazi Germany, and the reason stop.
Showed his death.
Please stop, please, for the love of God. There's a difference between the brown shirt Nazis and a protest movement against police brutality. Jesus.
Camera. Because
there's no saving him. Lex is doing everything he can. He's throwing him every life preserver. And Kanye West is purposefully choosing to dodge every single opportunity Lex is giving him to salvage his reputation. And he's doing it on a show. Kanye's on a show with a Jewish host. He couldn't have a better opportunity to like give a real apology and salvage what's left. But he's dodging it. CNN, Piers Morgan. There'd be no other major news show or anything that would give him this type of opportunity. And he's purposefully just dodging it.
Because, okay, there are examples of us being killed and being killed on camera. But if it was spread on camera, it was done on purpose by the media. Because...
What? Whatever.
14, 20 kids get killed in Chicago every week, and it's not spread that much. They, like you said, singled out a person, directed everything on that person, right, as the martyr, and raised the people that hadn't had any. We didn't have our 40 acres and a mule. We didn't have, like a lot of things, right, like that black people have not ever been given. So once we're given just a little bit, like, your life matters, right? Then we literally like, oh, okay, now we're being heard, right? But actually the death toll is up. The city where this happened is completely been turned to a war zone. It's actually something like Candace Owens can actually specify this better, but it's like its own city or something. Like they made it not be a part of the actual state or something. It's like DC and stuff. It's like it's like Washington DC now and stuff. Like, and that has to be from a government. That's.
Could you imagine if you gave Kanye West psychedelics? I just would like to see him. I would like to see him try some art or do some fashion on psychedelics.
At higher level agenda written all over it.
Yeah, they're using the death of an individual. Yeah, sure. The media are. Not the Jewish media, the media. The media is fucked up. That machine takes whatever tragedy and pushes it towards whatever narrative that gets more clicks and views and so on. Sure, and then politicians do the same. They use the media, they influence the media to tell a story. And
this is a simple thing I'll put. I believe that the idea of anti-Semitism and the closeness of the Holocaust is used by certain individuals in media to not take accountability for the bad things that are happening. And
okay, are you guys done? I think I'm done. I think I'm done, boys. You guys done? I'm done. I'm done. That's enough anti-Semitism for one day.